2026 Topps Stadium Club UFC is back. July 13th is the pre-sale. I posed this question to you guys, the viewers. Are we excited about another iteration of Stadium Club? Personally, I am excited for another iteration of Stadium Club. There were some fun cards from last year. I really enjoyed the action shots, but I did not know this was coming. I feel like this was kind of a shock to everybody, right? Now, one thing that I really enjoyed about Stadium Club last year was the price, $129.99. If we get it again at that same price, that would be by far the cheapest product that we've had so far. $189.99 from the pre-sale of Topps Chrome was the other least expensive product so far from 2026. The other ones have all been quite a bit above $2. Very expensive. Some of these boxes that we've had this year, a lot of the boxes are, a little bit limited in print run. We have Knockout with, 3 autos per box. We had Midnight with a bunch of autos per box. I posed the question that we'll talk about later in this episode. What is next for this year? Are we going to get Topps Royalty? But I was surprised when thinking about this. I wanted to go back and kind of look at what Stadium Club did last year, because personally, I enjoyed some of the cards from that set. There's some cards in that set that I would like to get for my collection long term. And I was like, what are some of these cards selling for? What kind of prices are we looking at? And there were 5 cards that sold for more than $2,500. There were 5 cards from Stadium Club that sold for more than $2,500. That, to me, is a pretty interesting statistic. Now, we have seen a trend and an uptick in UFC card pricing, which, again, we will kind of elaborate more on that at towards the end of this episode. But I guess my point being with bringing this up is that a $129 box is giving you cards that are above $2,500, which is pretty interesting in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about a low buy-in like that price. Now, obviously, the odds of hitting one of those cards is extremely rare. You're talking about thousands and thousands of cards, and you have only a few that are selling for those prices. But we are starting to see an uptrend in UFC card pricing. So these cheaper boxes with these cheaper buy-ins, there is a little bit more upside than there has been in the past, with prices continuing to trend upwards. Also, along the Stadium Club line, we don't have any images that have been leaked. And that's one thing I've noticed. We haven't gotten a lot of fighter leaked images from any of the products this year, which last year I feel like fighters were constantly posting with Topps and tagging Topps about the cards that they have. Maybe Topps did not pay the fighters extra for those blurbs. I don't know if that's a contractual thing, but it does seem like this year it has been far and drastically few and far between on the amount of sneak peeks that the fighters are giving us with these cards, which is why this Stadium Club in 26 was kind of a surprise to me. I saw 0 leaks of it. We saw a lot of leaks of Stadium Club last year from specific fighters. What are they going to do different design-wise? Are they going to bring some previous designs back again? Again, I think they have a vast amount of good in-cage action shots that they can choose from. But what are they going to do insert-wise? Some of the inserts were very divisive from last year. We also had a ton of on-card autos in Stadium Club in 2025. And that was, I thought, a really big selling point. It seems like we're getting a lot more stickers in 2026. So is the ratio of sticker to on-card going to be drastically different? If so, then the product loses a little bit of its appeal to me, but should still be fun because of the price point, and hopefully because of some of the designs that we will get and the action shots from that product. But Stadium Club was also one of the most parallel heavy products that we saw when it came to print run. There were so many unnumbered parallels through the blaster boxes and through the hobby box. They had a lot of different parallels, and they really printed a lot of Stadium Club. So that is definitely something to consider whenever talking about Stadium Club. I feel like we have to realize that they printed a ton of those cards. So as always, be kind of careful with what you're buying and really look at the print runs and think about, the collectability long-term based off the rarity. Okay. Topic I wanted to talk about before we get into some other stuff, the future releases for the rest of the year of UFC cards. So right now we had Chrome, we had Midnight, we had Sapphire, we had Knockout, we had the Freedom 250, which was, kind of what I suspected they would do, but was also a surprise, right? No leaks on that were given. And then also we have Stadium Club coming up. So that leads us to the total number of 6 products so far in the 2026 year. 2026 calendar year. Now we're in what, July? So we got August, September, October, November, December. So we're about halfway through, and they are absolutely cranking these things out, man. And I am confident that they are going to get this calendar reset. And I think we're going to have our last product within 2026, and then I think they're going to have whatever the first product is in 2027. I think it's going to be close to that start date in January. Maybe we're looking at like a February, late Feb, which would be pretty sick, and I would be happy about that because the lag time in between products has been kind of crazy, and I think, you know, it's been that way because they were so far behind, and then they have to manufacture the new ones. They're trying to pump the old ones out. So in theory, right, and who knows if they'll do this? It could go two ways, right? The way that I would be excited about and that I would be happy about is if Topps resets the calendar year. You now have 12 months to work with. You can focus some time and attention on these products. And let's say if you're doing 7 products again or 6 products, you could space them out evenly within like every two months, right? 2-ish months, which would be nice. That would be some continuity timing wise, would help everyone. It would help the collector. It would let products breathe a little bit and have some time on their own before you are then dumping more products on the people. It would help with you know, budgeting and people's wallets, having to you know, buy products and upfront costs back to back is difficult whenever you're on a budget and you're collecting and you want to buy in on a box. So that I think would be very beneficial. But do we get royalty this year? Like that was kind of another big topic that I had on this product, was like, are we going to get Topps royalty? What is going to happen? No blurbs again, but we'll see what happens. I think I wouldn't be too surprised if we got royalty again for the 3rd year. In a video I did a while back, I had kind of a theory that, like, I do think they're going to be changing a lot of the product guard in the next year. I think we're going to be getting some. They're going to get away from. They got away from finest so far anyway. We'll see if they come out with another one. But I feel like we're not going to be getting some of the staples that we've gotten for the subsequent 3 years. I like Knockout, Chrome, Finest, Royalty have all been kind of staples from 24, 25, and potentially 26. I think they're going to be changing that up a little bit in 2027. So is this, you know, the last year that we see Royalty and then they give it a break? Maybe they bring Museum Club back. There's a lot of different options they could do with that, like, premier product, right? I think there's some other sports that do some really nice boxes, really nice products and designs as well that they could lean on. But something interesting to think about from the future product standpoint. Also, the channel Box Alarm Trading just hit 4 years on YouTube. That is insane to me. That is absolutely insane to me. And I just appreciate all the support from everybody that's been watching, you know, throughout the years. There were so many times early on where I would make a video, have fun making it, post it, and get like 10 or 15 views. I mean, and I was like, that's how it was for months and months and months. And probably a good thing because those videos were so bad. Eventually, when I get a little bit more time, I would like to do like a live rewatch of some of my earlier videos with you guys and just kind of laugh at how, you know, silly everything was, and the quality, and even just my mannerisms on camera were kind of funny back then, being very not as engaging or entertaining or as good of a speaker, which is all things you would expect with getting reps over time and continuing to get better. But again, I just want to thank everybody for 4 years on YouTube. The channel's growing. Things are doing well this year. I'm able to offset a lot of the costs with these boxes that I'm ripping, which, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to be ripping these boxes because it's, again, like the tag phrase, right? It's not the most economic way to collect. I could be getting some really nice cards by just buying singles from these products. And instead, I'm kind of having to buy these products, look through them, which is really fun, and I do enjoy that. But the channel, with the ad revenue from viewers and whatnot, and people that are joining the, you know, membership, the Bat Crew, that is helping offset some of the costs from these boxes, which I really do appreciate. I'm not having to dig, you know, as deep into my own pockets in order to show you guys the products and continue to cover them, and, you know, continue to keep people updated and hopefully give people good information. But yeah, man, the YouTube community within UFC cards has grown so much in the last 4 years. Like, we talked about it before, but I mean, it was Mace Collectibles, we had Joe's Card Stash, then we had Matt Golden Octagon, we had me and Damien, we had some people that have stopped making videos. We had UFC Card Fiend is still making videos. We got Albino Manatee, but like that group has been small, and now I feel like a lot of people are on YouTube making videos, and that is great, man. Like that's such a good spot to be in. That means one, there's people that want to see that content because more people are making that content, right? Like one of the reasons I started this channel in particular was because I thought there wasn't enough information on specific topics within the UFC card collecting community. And so I wanted to talk about them and research them and show cards and talk about cards and just I just wanted more. I wanted more stuff related to UFC cards. And so to see so many people opening boxes, I've seen a few people kind of talk about their own PC and collections and mail days and stuff. Like that is a really good sign that we're starting to see so many more people on YouTube talking about UFC cards. And not just on YouTube, right? I looked on Reddit. So whenever I first started collecting, it was like 21, 22-ish. There was like, I think the UFC card Reddit had like 1,000, like legit 1,000 people, maybe less. I looked, it's at 14,000 people on the UFC card Reddit. Like, that is awesome, man. Like, things are growing, things are continuing to grow. Prices are also following and continuing to grow, right? And who knows what's going to happen in the future. But 2026 has already been just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if anytime you can double the highest sale within an air, like that's a crazy jump. Like the percentage is absolutely insane for that. So I guess all this to say, like the UFC card world is growing and it's so fun to be a part of it. And I'm so happy that I started this channel 4 years ago. It's been a great outlet. I've had a ton of fun, creative time. I've met a lot of great people. I've had great interviews and great talks with people, which I want to get back to, man. And the schedule has been crazy. If you follow the channel, you know that I had a baby girl, and like right now the schedule between me and my wife is really hectic. So I can't really schedule the interviews because that's a lot of logistics, and then I have to like carve out a very specific time. It's been a lot easier to just like, oh, I have like an hour today, let me go do a video real quick, than it has been to schedule interviews. But I really want to get back to doing interviews. I have some really fun ideas that I want to implement in the future, and I have a huge list of people that I want to have on the channel again. And shout out to all the people, if you're watching this, like I do want to have you on the channel. I've had conversations with people and they're like, yeah, I'd love to come back on, just let me know. And they've kind of been in the dark about that, but the timing is just not right now for that. But I think we're getting into a place where I can start scheduling those again, hopefully in the near future, man. We've also had some massive sales, right? And we kind of touched on that, but like, I think some of that is due to maybe the Paramount deal is working. We had the crazy event at UFC Freedom 250. And say what you want about that, but it did make massive waves, man. Although the viewership numbers were a little bit, I don't want to say disappointing, but I was a little bit shocked that it wasn't much higher just because of the production value and because of, how much buzz that was getting. But yeah, I think maybe that helped, right? We have the Mac is back, baby. We have Conor McGregor and Holloway coming up. Anytime McGregor is in headlines, he is such a good interview, man. Anytime I watch an interview with Conor, it's usually a good time. He's just an interesting guy, personality-wise. He's kind of a madman, but he does seem, and everybody has this, right? Like John Jones is like this too. It's almost like a redemption arc for these guys whenever they're doing the press, It's just the devil on the shoulder and then the angel on the shoulder, right? And like, I feel bad for some of these guys. Like they're trying to be their best self, or at least it seems that way from the outside looking in. And Conor McGregor is definitely one of those guys. And you hear him talk. Hopefully he's changed a little bit of his personality. I know he's been going to rehab. He's been doing all this stuff, and he broke his leg, and so he's been on kind of an interesting journey and soul searching. Will he be a stud fighter back in there? He's older in age. We got Holloway, who, is he in his prime? I would say maybe he's a little bit past his prime, but he's still very near his prime. He's probably closer to his prime than Conor is, right? I think we could all agree on that. But I'm very excited to see that. McGregor always brings eyes. He always puts butts in the seats and brings excitement. And with all those things, right, that affects the UFC card world as well, and could potentially get people that are not collecting to start collecting. We got BSD versus Pimblett also on that card, which I'm really excited about. There's some other decent fights on that card, but I think obviously the headliner to see Conor back in there. And if Conor wins, I think that's great for the sport and great for UFC cards. So I really do like Max, and I think on paper I would definitely think that Max is going to take it. But part of me does want to see Conor McGregor win. Maybe we'd get him back in the cage quickly if he wins, right? Which is good for everybody. And he's always pretty exciting when he's fighting as well. But other than that, I'm really excited about Benoit Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. We saw Paddy get kind of roasted by Gaethje. But BSD is also a guy that is very hittable, and he can be finished. But his style is really fun to watch. I also think Paddy's style is really fun to watch. I'm excited for that one as well. But that's about it for today's episode. Just wanted to get a quick car video out. Future videos we got. Anytime I have some subjects I want to talk about, I'll probably just vent them on this. I have a few that I need to script out. I also have a few in the queue, and if you want to watch those videos early, man, become a Bat Crew member. I think I have 2 or 3 videos out already that you can watch if you subscribe to the Bat Crew membership. I think that's one of the better perks that you get, and I'm trying to keep some stuff like filled in that queue so that people in the Bat Crew can kind of get some value there, as well as I have a few member specific videos, and I want to actually continue to do just members only videos that don't even go out to the general population, with things that I'm holding a little bit closer to the vest collecting wise, and just some ideas and plans and philosophies when it comes to what I'm doing with my collection. And I'll probably do another video just for that next week. I got a Josh Hokett video releasing probably in a day or two whenever this drops, with the Spectre art in his first auto. I think it's an interesting video. We go over kind of some macro things about artist-specific cards, and then also I show off, a box that I got from him. Excited about that video, and hopefully you guys appreciate it. Hopefully I can get in contact with Jordan Spectre. I'd love to work with him in the future on showcasing his products, and then also like doing a little bit more marketing with the products and telling people what he's releasing, because I do think it's an interesting thing that he's doing, and we've seen it have success in other areas with other artists doing the same thing, and I think that would be a fun project to work with on him in the future. Also trying to get Damien lined up back on the channel. He is abroad, but I actually have a few days this week that I should be free. So I can't wait to talk to him. It's been a while since we sat and talked. We have a lot to talk about since last time. I'd love to pick his brain on a few topics and just sit down for a nice long form conversation. I do miss the interviews, and I can't wait to get back to those and scheduling those. But I will have, I think, 2 days this week that I for sure can get with him and talk. And I think that, potentially he has some free time as well. So we'll see how everything goes. See y'all next time.